Okay, are you ready for 2011 micro free response question number one? There is a part F and G which are not on the screen at the moment. So I'm going to pause this and then scroll down and show you those as well. So now here you can see the last two portions, F and G, of the first question. Okay, get ready and I will show you the solution, my solution. Okay, so in the solution here, we obviously have a monopoly. They even tell us that we've got the monopolist demand, marginal revenue, marginal cost curves. So remember, demand also has price over there. The first part A here in question number one says to assume the monopolist wants to maximize profit using the labeling on the graph indicate the monopolist price. So we always find where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, and that determines our profit maximizing or loss minimizing output. And the monopolist always charges the highest price it can. So at 8 we go up to the demand curve and over to the side to read that the answer would be $24. $24 is the price associated with the monopoly's profit maximizing quantity of 8 units. Part B says when the output is 8 units, what is the profit per unit? So the amount of profit is the difference between the price that we're paid, $24, and the cost of producing those units. So if I could just change colors here for a second. The cost of producing 8 units is off of our average total cost curve at 8. So 24 minus 18 is equal to $6. We make $6 profit per unit. If we multiplied that $6 profit times 8 units, then the overall profit would be $48. But they don't ask us for that, so let's move on. In Part C, assume that the monopolist is maximizing profit. Is allocative efficiency achieved? Remember, allocative efficiency is when price is equal to marginal cost. And you may have even already memorized or recalled that the monopolist produces less than what a quantity smaller than what society wants and charges a higher price for it. So the answer is going to be no. Allocative efficiency is not achieved. And just to show that, they would produce 8 units, right, according to their profit maximizing rule, where marginal revenue and marginal cost are equal. However, society and the allocatively efficient quantity where price and marginal cost are equal is at 10 units. So that's the answer for C. Moving on to D. Between the prices of $16 and $18 is the monopolist in the elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic portion of its demand curve. Okay, so between $16 and $18, here's $18, here's $16. Notice if we look down that when you're on the demand curve in that range of $16 to $18, marginal revenue is less than 0. Marginal revenue has become negative. And when marginal revenue is negative, that means that we have inelastic demand. It's the paperclip, right? Okay, for part E, let me first clear up the graph just a little bit here because it's getting a bit cluttered. if regulators set an output of 11 units, so here's 11 units, is the monopolist earning positive economic profit? Well, at 11 units, we can see that the price is equal to $18, and that the average total cost is equal to $18. So no, the firm is breaking even since price and average total cost are the same or equal at $18. And then, is the monopolist earning positive accounting profit? And the answer would be that yes. If you recall, economic profit takes into account opportunity costs, some of those things not counted by accounting profit. So if economic profit is zero, or they're just breaking even, then accounting profit had to have been greater than zero before we deducted some of those opportunity and intrinsic costs. You know, they weren't I guess what I'm saying or really mean is that accounting profit is calculated using only explicit costs. You reach into your pocket, you're actually using real dollars to make payments, and economic profit counts all of those explicit costs, but also includes any implicit. So the opportunity costs, the interest that you could have earned on the money if you'd had it in a bank rather than spending it on a project of some kind. So in order to see economic profit be zero, to have room for those implicit costs to make economic profit zero, accounting profit had to be larger or positive in this case. Okay, now part F, which isn't on the screen right now, but I showed it to you earlier. I cleaned things up a little bit again because what we're asked to do is look at what would happen if regulators impose a price ceiling at $22. So here's $22, and we'll call that our price ceiling. You may recall a ceiling is a maximum price. Maximum prices are only effective if they are set below the equilibrium price. So in this particular case, the price ceiling would be drawn in right as I've done here at $22, and they ask what is the marginal revenue for the 8th unit? Well, every unit will be sold for the legally imposed price, regardless whether it's the first, the 1/1,000th, or the 8th. And so all of them, in this case, are going to receive that price of $22, and therefore the marginal revenue would also be $22. And then they want to know what quantity will be produced. Well, so if this is, in essence, this has now become Mr. DARP, we're going to produce where this marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So, but at $22, the maximum quantity demanded ends at 9. So even though marginal revenue and marginal cost equal each other at a higher quantity, since there is no consumer demand for more than 9 units, we have to stop at 9 in order to answer the quantity produced under a price ceiling of $22. And then the last part of the question number 1 is to assume instead that the monopolist practices perfect price discrimination, what quantity will be produced. So let me get rid of this again here. When we get perfect price discrimination, then marginal revenue ends up being reunited with demand over here. So ignore the marginal revenue curve that was already on here, and they are going to produce the quantity where marginal revenue, easy for you to say, where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, and that is at a quantity of 10 and a price of $20. So under this scheme of perfect price discrimination, the fact that we have 10 units produced, then they ask what would be the value of consumer surplus, and the answer would be that if we're using or practicing perfect price discrimination, there is no consumer surplus, because each individual is paying exactly what they were willing and able to pay. So there is no difference between the market price and what they were willing or able to pay. Therefore, no consumer surplus. All of it is captured because of the price discrimination.